Hey, I'm Marshall Atkinson, and I'm Stoked On Printing. Stoked On Printing is an online custom screen print and promotional product supplier. In this episode, we'll see how they simplify the challenges of printing on textured fabrics to create some really cool designs. Hey, Vegas, we're here.
Shane and I started in about 2007. Shane came to me and said we needed to start printing our own band merch. I had no idea the first thing about how to get ink onto a t-shirt. Shane said, we'll just watch some videos and we'll figure it out.
Did you call it paint back then?
We called it paint, yeah. We'll get some paint on the shirts.
Right.
Yep. We're in about 12,000 square feet now. We have 4 automatic presses, 18 heads of embroidery, DTG, fully automated screen room. I just think about us as owners being a part of the team. You know, we're in it every day. We'll hop out on press if we need to be. Basic day-to-day leadership in the trenches with our team, I think has really grown respect for us and as well as for our people too, because we're seeing what they're going through and we're able to change things that they may not speak up and say something about.
Right, and some of your people have been here like a really long time, right?
Yeah, our first employee ever is still with us to this day.
That's awesome. So Shane, in a minute we're going to go check out some stuff that you guys are printing, so give us a preview of what we're going to see.
Sure. So we're going to be using a Heathered Snow t-shirt, so we're going to be doing an inside-out print on there, reversible print. Really, it's kind of a cool print for that piece. We're also going to be doing a high-density print on one of the microstripe fleeces. So we're hoping to have some of that texture of the garment really come through that print and give it a cool shadow effect.
And these are popular things that your clients are asking for, right?
Absolutely. They're always looking for what is a new way to print something or what can be changed a little bit to really give some depth or some character to that print.
Yeah, so you're not just taking the normal plastisol print and it's a left chest logo or it's a full front or whatever. You're going beyond that and elevating the design and bringing value to your customers.
Absolutely.
I'm in the art department talking to Jeremy about our inside the shirt print. So Jeremy, can you walk us through how you set that up?
Since we're printing on the inside of the shirt to soak through and give that distressed effect, we're going to have to do a mirror image.
When you're creating files that are kind of a retail slant, they're kind of doing something kind of differently, do you guys get together and talk about how we can do something that's maybe a little more creative or pushing the edge a little more?
On certain jobs, yeah, we do get a little bit of creative freedom, usually with our like local brands or clothing brands and stuff like that. They're like, you know, here's what we want to do. Maybe send us a couple ideas on what we could do better, or you know, and then we can talk about specialty inks, or if we want to go like a softer print, or talk about the overall feel of the design or the feel of the print. Then we can go into, you know, if we want to do an oversized print or something like that, what would look cool, and then that we are kind of handed the torch on the creative aspect there.
We're in the screen room, and as I know in the industry, a lot of people don't check their tension before they get out into production. That causes all sorts of production issues. So Shane, what are we doing here?
Sure. So we're going to check the tension on this screen because we're going to be doing a 6-color job today for Panther design. And we're looking to see that we're going to have similar tension across all the screens. So we'll be using this tension meter here to check and see how many newtons this screen is.
Okay, what do you think it's going to be?
I think it's going to be above 20.
Okay, great. Let's check it out. So this is really great, and this proves that it's a screen that we can use, but also we want to check the other way the threads go, and we also want to look in the corners, right? So let's just look right here, right? So we're above 20, it's about 21 and a half. So we want to have our multicolor job with at least 20 newtons, and this passes the test, so we can use it for our job.
On average, we're doing about 150 frames a day, so we typically like to audit about 10% of the screens that we're doing. So we'll look at about 15 screens a day, measure the tension, and make sure that they are adequate.
All right, we're out here on the production floor. So Shane, tell me about that inside out print and what you guys are doing out here and why it's a really great sales tool.
Absolutely. So printing inside out really gives a whole nother definition to the type of printing that you're doing. It gives it a cool vintage rustic look almost. It looks super distressed, like the shirt's been washed maybe for 20 years, right?
Right.
So it's a really cool technique that not a whole lot of people are doing, I don't think.
Is it hard to reverse out the shirts? How do you get that? Well, like, say you got a big order, you just throw a lot of people at it and everybody just reverses the shirts out real quick? How do you do it?
Absolutely. So you obviously want to charge for your time to be able to do that, but you are flipping the shirts inside out. There's a little bit pre-press with your artwork, making sure that you've mirrored your image and so forth. But from there, you're printing it just like any other job. When you get out here, your inks, you want to make sure that you have a little bit softer inks. You don't want to have too thick of an ink on there, and you really want to complement the shirt that you're doing. When you're doing an inside-out print like this, you definitely want to make sure that you select the right t-shirt for it. So this lightweight snow heather shirt is actually a really good option from Jerseys to be able to complement this style of printing.
We just printed on this micro stripe through the loom hoodie. Yeah. So Shane, what did we do? We only used one screen.
Yep.
So what happened?
So on these, we actually did a high density print with some sculpture base and some clear base, and then we took it down to 1% pigment of our black because we really wanted to show some of this micro stripe coming through the print. So it looks really cool on this blue hoodie here, where you're able to see the stripes coming through and so forth. Right. Really complements the piece.
And so what's the benefit of that?
So it adds value to it, and like you said, you're only doing one screen, so your costs are low, and it really adds some dimension and some value to this piece as well. The other thing that's really cool about the high density is you can really feel this on top of here as well.
And you feel it, and it's clear. This is the micro stripe, right? And you can really see the image through the letters, and it's got a nice texture to it, and that really has a nice juxtaposition on the shirt. So if there's a shop out there watching this video, what do you think you would tell them about how can you get to this size and how can you have success like you guys have shared over the last couple of years?
I'd say invest into shop management software tomorrow if they haven't. And I would say get good equipment, because at the end of the day, we are craftspeople. If your machine's constantly breaking down, if your shirts aren't curing at the right temperature, if you're burning material, it doesn't matter how good you are, you're gonna hit a ceiling of where the equipment's gonna come in and it's gonna be able to push you through that ceiling.
We definitely focus on cross-training individuals, making sure that people are able to do actually multiple facets. We also work, very closely with the operators as well as the entire crew, for that matter, to be able to make sure that we're doing things correctly, we're doing things on time and correct the first time. It's a big effort really into sustainability to be able to do things right the very first time.
All right, so we really had a great day today. I love how the shirts came out, especially the jerseys. You guys were awesome. Thank you so much for having us. High five, man.